Welcome to Back in Tunes, our special Bravestarr episode. I'm Michael, your host, and
Jacob, aka Jacoby Kenobi, who was really fascinated by that opening sequence.
really, I did not think it was that great. I thought the song kind of stunk. Considering the classic '80s themes, the animation was amazing, good like style wise, but I thought the
Oh,
song was a
yeah,
little
of
weak.
course. That's what got me. But yeah, it was kind of lame. Of
I love the
course,
fact that it starts off with the map.
yeah.
Kind of
So
looks
yeah,
like
basically,
Bonanza.
okay.
What?
So yeah, I mean, so talk more about this cartoon, Michael.
Oh, well, actually, first, if you have not listened to Back in Tunes, where have you been? And you're about 30 episodes in, but that's all right. You can catch the old episodes on our Facebook page, connected to retrorocket.weebly.com for everything that we do blogs, podcasts, and little notes and bits and pieces here and there. Um, what we do is we find the episode up on YouTube. This is on YouTube and it's also on Hulu. And if you watch it on a computer, it's free. You don't have to pay that $7.99 a month. Yes, you have to sit through the commercials. We know this. We're sorry. Um, basically, you watch the episode while we talk. It's basically we just kind of do a little commentary for it.
So this is the first episode called New Texas Blues.
All right, go ahead and hit play now, and we'll just chit chat until it's over.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely another Filmation one. The ones behind the Ghostbusters, not real Ghostbusters, but the Ghostbusters with the giant talking gorilla, and I think they did another one too.
What you mean, the Ghostbusters? Well, there was the live-action Ghostbusters that was in the '70s, and then it became a cartoon after the Ghostbusters movie hit it so big. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, it is.
In fact, you know what's funny is I never watched that Ghostbusters when it was originally on, but if you have regular TV, you can just find it. I think it's on the Retro Network, and they show Bravestarr, the real Ghostbusters, He-Man, and I want to say She-Ra in this like 2 hour package every night.
Yeah. She-Ra's actually and He-Man are all actually on Netflix too.
Oh, okay. Well, this might be as well because it's all owned by the same company. This, in fact, is the last series from Filmation. And they had been around since the 60s, and right after this series ended, they shut down.
Mm.
No,
No, we could definitely tell this is like this evil layer right here. It definitely kind of reminds me of it is a Western version of Grayskull.
Alright, so we're going to pause for a second because we got commercials. Blah. Yeah, so if you had to sit through a commercial, I apologize. Jacob, for some reason, did, and I did. Lame.
Yeah, I mean, at first it did the intro, and then after it did advertisements, and then it does like at least half the episode.
But you said if He-Man and She-Ra on Netflix, this should probably be too, and maybe I should have just watched it there. But I guess we can just get back to the cartoon. I love the look of this cartoon. It is so well done, especially for that time period when, Filmation's running out of money, and their cartoons were always a little bit cheap. And yes, they were made in America, though.
Yeah, no, good old American animation.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what did them in, or I mean, I don't recall. I'm looking at their history of cartoons. They didn't have a whole lot of flops, but I think what did them in is that they started doing movies for the theater. Theatrical releases. That might have, all those bombed.
Oh, I'm wondering what the hell is that giant skeleton snake thing that's talking to Texas that just gave him his guitar.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the screen. I missed it.
Hmm.
That reminds me of Castle Grayskull. Tell me that doesn't remind you of Castle Grayskull.
Oh no,
Or
it
not
does.
Grayskull, shit. What is the Skeletor's headquarters?
Oh, Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain, thank you. I
Well, to
almost
me,
said
I mean,
Space Mountain.
yeah, yeah. Disneyland. It might as well. It's same place. It's all venomous. They all try to suck you in, except they just take your wallet, not your lives, unless you're out of money. Yeah, like I said, it is a very cool idea. And then you got this giant dragon thing that this freaky Tex-Hex guy looking motherfucker.
At least he has a
Yeah.
real voice instead of. I don't know if you've ever seen the Dragon's Lair cartoon, but as much as I love the animation, the voice of their dragon is so ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so I'm looking to here. So this is done by Filmation, but it's also partially funded by a different company called Group W. They were a broadcasting company. They did a lot of syndicated shows for their networks. Looks like most of their money came off of like the Steve Allen Show, Regis Philbin Show, Merv Griffin, stuff like that. Mike Douglas. Lots of those kind of shows, and I guess after that they decided to go into cartoons. They did the original funding for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a cartoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they funded the miniseries, but after that someone else took over for the regular series.
Yeah, well, they definitely made a good investment.
So they funded He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, She-Ra, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, Ghostbusters, and Bravestarr. Those are their main core.
Yeah, I thought those were all fantastic cartoons. I loved Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
I wasn't like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, but still.
Yeah. I'm looking here. I'm going to look up real quick. Filmation was a big name for me as a kid. But I'm trying to figure out why they bombed. If it was the movies, that's probably why.
Okay, these guys look like something out of Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah. Which it has a big following. I never watched it when I was a kid, but apparently it's really popular. It's going to be a new movie.
Yeah, no, I'm actually kind of looking forward to seeing what they'll do with that.
All right, so they did Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night, which New World Pictures released, I believe. I remember that bombing. Happily Ever After, I believe that sat on the shelf for like 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
But Bravestarr was originally a movie before it was a series.
Oh wow. But I think it's a really awesome idea. It's like now they've got like an actual Native American as the lawman on a different space planet.
Yeah.
Little sci-fi, fantasy, western genre mixing.
I wonder if this had any influence on Firefly at all.
Probably. Minus the Chinese part.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying the fact that you could set a western in outer space. I mean, there sort of was. I don't know if you ever seen the Sean Connery movie Outland. It's like High Noon, but in outer space. That's probably the first time I saw something like that.
Yep. And then, of course, now these little guys, I think these are like little natives of this little mining planet, but those little dwarf guys, like fucking Bravestar's little deputy, Fuzz. I guess those are supposed to be like the hillbillies.
Alright, so this is weird. Okay, so the Bravestarr movie was not... I can't tell. The Bravestarr movie was... It looked like it might have been intended to launch the TV series, like, create the basics of the storyline, but it was released. Right. It was released a year after the show was canceled. So that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of it's kind of like just what happened with Firefly. I mean, Firefly had a season, then it got canceled, and then it came back as a movie.
Yeah, but it looks like
this had a following.
Yeah, but Serenity continues Firefly, whereas this, I think the movie was supposed to come out before the series, but Filmation, I believe, was going out of business by then, or was out of business, and Taurus Entertainment, a very small company, released it like in a handful of theaters, and that was it.
Wow. So it's only like kind of like an indie thing, so it definitely wasn't going to get its money back, that's for sure.
No, I mean, I think contractually had... Wow, speaking of Gem and the Holograms...
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
You know what? I've seen... That looks like... Oh my god, that looks like Joan Jett. If you rewind that look, that looked like just like Joan Jett was on stage.
Oh, wow. Hold on, just 1 second. I don't know, I think like I said, ours is off because the commercials... Oh, yeah, that definitely looks like Joan Jett. So I'm guessing there's kind of like a music contest. That's like the basis of it right now.
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen this first episode. I've seen a couple dozen episodes when they would show on, I think it was called Cuba, that thing that was on the Retro Network. I've seen quite a few, but I don't think I've ever seen the beginning.
Right. So I'm guessing like the bad guy's plot is to, win this music contest and manipulate the people through this guitar.
That or we're just going to have musical interludes every episode and they had to find a way to fit it in. Bravestarr is Native American, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know him.
Hey, you see the guy on the right? The one in the pink shirt and the cowboy hat?
Oh, the little guy, Fuzz?
He has like a pink shirt, a cowboy hat, and kind of like feathered hair.
Oh, yeah, what about him?
He looks... Okay, have you ever seen The Warriors?
Yes. Oh, he looks like Cowboy.
Yeah, he looks like Michael Beck. Was Cowboy his name in Warriors, or was it in Megaforce?
I'm pretty sure it was Warriors.
Alright.
Oh, God, yeah, dude.
Some of the backgrounds kind of suck. You can see it was a little cheap on that. which is kind of depressing because the early part of the movie, a lot of that background, like this is a good background. I like this.
Yeah, it is. Kind of like classic animation, just little colored circles everywhere.
Yeah, it reminds me of Heavy Metal, the movie Heavy Metal.
Yes, I was just about to mention that. Especially like when in a space colony when that guy becomes angry and turns giant.
Yeah, God, what was the name of that? I used to be really into that one particular episode because it turned into a comic book years later. Bernie Wrightson did a miniseries for Dark Horse.
Oh wow.
We gotta talk about Heavy Metal sometime. I love that movie. Who doesn't? The sequel, not so much.
Yeah. Then they go. There's Bravestarr and 30-30.
Yeah, 30-30.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, how awesome is that? His partner turns into his ride.
That was what he did on He-Man.
Yeah, but I mean, it does. It's kind of subjective 30 because he's walking tall. He's his own man. He's like a cyborg horse hybrid.
Hold on.
Okay, let's go.
All right. That's a weird scene. Everybody's so much smaller than him, except for, of course, the horse, which makes sense since the dynamics of a horse. I remember this.
Yeah, no, but honestly, that bug guy kind of sounds like just the angry 1930s New York stereotypical gangster.
You also sound like a guy who's like he just that Patton Oswalt voice when he gets too fat. He rolls his beard. Blah blah blah. So, did you ever see any of these action figures, or were you too young for it?
Oh, I remember these action figures, especially the bartender. He was green skinned, orange mustache, giant son of a bitch.
Yeah, Mattel worked with Filmation. Of course, that's the way it was in the 80s. You developed a toy line and the cartoon, concurrently. Sometimes even the comic book. But I don't remember this being a comic book. In fact, I should look that up. 'Cause everything back then was a cartoon or a comic book, especially if it was from like Star Comics.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh gosh. I don't know how that guitar could ever work.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous. Just get him a new guitar. Holy crap! It's Daft Punk, the early years.
Yep.
That's actually pretty cool.
I think Daft Punk's parents were pregnant in this audience, and they heard this music, and these babies had to, reappropriate this music. Oh my God, it's a Blue Man Group.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good one too. Okay, so Bravestarr was a comic book, and I'm trying. Blackthorn Publishing. That was a really small company, and they did their comics in 3D. That's pretty cool.
Okay, now this part where he uses the eyes of the hawk. That's he's
What?
I mean, as far as this eyes of the hawk thing, Native American spiritual powers, I thought that was kind of racist.
Yeah, it's also kind of a ripoff of the whole Thundercats thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it does kind of. I mean, with the Eye of Thundara.
I think all the cartoons kind of like took bits and pieces from each other.
I mean, yeah, white men have done many fucked up things to Native Americans, but I will tell you this: one of the most racist things ever done was What Makes the Red Man Red from the Peter Pan movie from Disney.
Yeah, what's funny is we just did that episode of Peter Pan. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, if you haven't heard any of our episodes, our last episode was Peter Pan the Pirates. We kind of have like a fantasy sci-fi thing going on right now. I would say this one's probably a little more bent towards sci-fi. And then next month we're going to do all Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
That gun is cool.
This girl right here, this like snake chick. Uh-oh. What is she does kind of remind me of Evelyn.
Yeah, I feel like probably the same guys that worked on He-Man probably went on to this.
Actually, oh gosh, I hate to be mean or try to stereotype her, but did they try to make her Asian, or at least somewhat Asian? That's kind of fucked up.
So DreamWorks actually owns the rights to this now.
You think Juniors might be able to do something with it?
I don't know. I mean, Peabody and Sherman did not turn out to be the big moneymaker that they thought it was going to be. Here's the thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, DreamWorks had purchased the entire catalog of Entertainment. I think it was Entertainment One. I'd have to look it up. But it was a company that specifically focused on these kind of cartoons. So like Simon and Peabody, George of the Jungle, Dudley Do-Right, Rocky and Bullwinkle. They bought He-Man, everything from the Filmation catalog.
What about Dudley Do-Right? Did they buy that too?
Yes, they own Dudley Do-Right. So
Pharrell.
they bought all of them because they're trying to get to the point where they can make movies out of them. And Simon and Peabody, of course, is the first one. But they were stupid. They spent like $150 million on a franchise that nobody really remembers.
Peabody and Sherman? I thought hella people remembered that.
Really?
I
thought it was more of a cult following.
It got great reviews.
No. I mean the original cartoon. I think it kind of faded away, so I'm kind of surprised. I don't think you should spend that kind of money on something like that. I think you should start maybe smaller, like $70 million, like the way Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. You know, that was $70 million movie. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Here, I want to say this about this episode. The part with her singing. Couldn't they have written better songs?
Yeah, I imagine, but it was also a TV crew. They probably couldn't afford a good contributor for music.
Yeah, no, I mean, come on, but then it's like, yeah, I think kids are just going to be watching this, but even then, kids deserve better than that shit.
Alright, so this is what happened. Hallmark ended up owning the rights of Filmation. They went to a company called Entertainment Rights, which is probably the laziest name for a company I've ever heard. And then they collected up all the things that they had been buying over the years, combined it with classic media, and then all of that was sold to DreamWorks.
Wow. That's crazy.
So DreamWorks got a good buyout. I think they bought it for like $28 million. You can own the rights to all those companies for like such little money.
Oh, I know. Compared to like all the other companies that got bought out, like Lucasfilm. Jesus, man, $28 million. That's like almost nothing.
All right, so I finally found it. They also own Mr. Magoo, Gerald McBoing Boing, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Richie Rich, Baby Huey. They also own the Golden Books catalog, which is Magnus Robot Fighter, Turok the Dinosaur Hunter.
Sorry, I'm just distracted by this terrible fucking song.
Oh, yeah.
Music. That's like worse than the song in Heathers. Teenage Suicide.
They own Gumby. They own Voltron. Wow.
I honestly think they could come back with Gumby.
I don't think Gumby would ever come back. It's ridiculous. Unless they somehow make it like ironic. You know, like how some stuff like the Brady Bunch or 21 Jump Street, they've modified to fit the times. Because if Gumby comes out now, it's going to be laughed off the stage.
The Brady Bunch movie, they were still in the 70s while everybody else was in the 90s. Oh god, that was ridiculous.
But I can see them turning Bravestarr into a movie, like a live-action movie, not an animated movie.
Oh yeah.
But
it's like, okay.
What?
But who do you think? Who do you think they get to play Bravestarr? The Rock?
If he's going to be Native American, they're going to have to go big name-wise because you need a really strong lead, and there's not a lot of Native American leads, and I think it's because Hollywood is stupid and they can't seem to actually like cultivate a lead actor out of Native American. The best I think we've ever had was Lou Diamond Phillips, and I'm not sure if he's 100% or not.
Yeah, there's Lou Diamond Phillips, and there's also Daniel Day-Lewis who was in Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, but he's British. I mean, he was supposed to be white in that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but honestly, plus he's too old for that.
Johnny Depp, too old.
No, not Johnny Depp. No. He already did Tonto.
Right. I'm just trying to think of anybody who has any sort of power in Hollywood that can be a Native American, and they should actually cast a real Native American in it. You know who was really good is that guy who was in Wind Talkers. I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Adam Beach, I think. You know, he should be a bigger star. He's really good.
And what's this actor? What was he in?
Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage. You know, the World War II movie from John Woo.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Oh my God, I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's really good, but I never see him.
He was in Joe Dirt. He was also in Cowboys and Aliens. He was Harrison Ford's Native American friend in that movie.
That's right. I forgot that. You know what? If there's anything really holding back Bravestarr becoming a movie, it's Cowboys and Aliens. People are probably going to view it as a sci-fi western, and that never does well. I don't think there's ever been a successful sci-fi western, even though there's only been like a few.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, well, it's definitely like space age. I mean, they would have to like up, definitely up it. I mean, Judge Dredd itself was kind of a. I mean, what they would do, they would definitely go on like the sci-fi. They would definitely go to like different planets in the comics, and they'd also visit, like these old Western beat-up worlds.
I didn't realize Judge Dredd went to other planets. I always thought it was. I've never read the comic. I've only ever seen the 2 movies.
I read like the first 4 volumes of like the old comic strips that they had, the
Nice.
weekly ones. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great. I love reading it. It's getting like it is getting grittier and grittier each little issue.
I should probably try to grab them then because as silly as the Stallone one is, and most people say it's blasphemy, I still kind of enjoy it. Mostly because the theme and the special effects are so damn good. But I really like the one with Carl Urban.
Oh yeah, the one with Carl Urban I thought was perfect. It was oh my god, he is Dredd.
But the budget was so tight. I want to see him go outside of a building for Pete's sake.
Yeah, I know, me too. I mean, they actually filmed like most of it in like South Africa.
And yet it still cost $50 million. That's kind of strange. I'm surprised it cost so much.
I know. There was like guns, there was props, there was also the special effects shooting with like the flying drones and whatnot.
But I just don't think it's gonna make money. If they make a sequel, the first one didn't make any money, so I can't imagine them getting through to make a sequel.
It was a great critical.
They did. Critics loved it, but no one showed up, and I think it's because they were burned by the previous one.
It's all fucking Sylvester Stallone's fault.
Hey, is your video going backwards?
My video? No. What mine is doing right now, it is. Well,
I guess it doesn't matter. My episode.
Mine's at the last advertisement. My episode just, I think, finished.
The reason I asked.
I'm so glad that fucking song is over. Jeez.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. No, the reason I asked is Hulu, for some reason, sped up the entire cartoon. I just watched it all in fast forward. So that was weird. I think he was giving a special message to people at home.
Oh, yeah, he does.
That was
the
thing.
Like with
What's that?
Yeah, he's doing that right now. He is. Bravestarr is like giving out a special message at the end, teaching kids a lesson.
Oh, I missed it. What's the special lesson?
Hold on.
Because I really want to know. They're always kind of hokey. And they do that back in the 80s. In order to get away with promoting cartoons as advertisements, for toys, they had to always do one of those special things at the end.
Yeah, basically he's he's telling them not to give in to the temptations of strangers, no matter, how good it will be for you. Plus it can also have bad outcomes. Just like in this episode, he wanted to be a rock star so bad, he took the guitar from Tex-Hex and it almost destroyed everything. But yeah, no, so he's telling them, like, don't give in to temptation like that.
What was the special tagline? You know how they have, like, and that's one to grow on, and learning's half the battle. Did he have one of those?
No, he didn't.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah, and here we go. Oh, yeah. So, what do you think? What do you think, Michael?
What? Of the cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it. I would say that song is probably garbage, but the animation itself is so good. And it's a shame that Filmation went out of business just as they were, I think, hitting their peak. Because I would say, as much as I love He-Man and She-Ra, the animation still had flaws. They were kind of repeating stuff, and there were moments where it was a little cheap. Great design work, though. They did a really good job, whoever created all these characters.
Oh my god, dude. I'm on Hulu Plus. They got Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. They got the Snorks. They got the Rambo cartoon. Flash Gordon.
Wait, you say Rambo?
Yeah.
You know what? We should do a whole month of cartoons that make no sense. That they're cartoons, like Chuck Norris and the Karate Commando, Rambo, RoboCop.
Defenders of the Earth.
Oh, that's an awesome one. That's from the same company,
I
think.
on here.
I think that's from Filmation.
Yeah, they have Galaxy Rangers also. And Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, you can leave me out of that one.
Okay. In your mouth. Dick Tracy.
That is garbage. I love Dick Tracy like nobody's business. I love Dick, is basically what I'm saying. No,
You little dick.
But that cartoon
Finally, you
I admitted it finally. The cartoon is so limited. The animation is almost non-existent, and it's just kind of a shame. Back in the '60s, for some reason, companies thought they could get away with making the cheapest cartoons ever.
Yeah. Oh, Galaxy Rangers was one of those.
Yeah, Galaxy Rangers, Bravestarr, and I thought there was another one. Saber Riders. They were all space westerns.
Oh yeah. Dude, but yeah, Galaxy Rangers, I don't know, Bravestarr, who knows? Wasn't there a crossover between the two?
No, different companies. It might have been Saber Riders and Galaxy Rangers. I'm pretty sure Galaxy Rangers was not the same company. There was supposed to be a spinoff of Bravestarr, but just as they were developing it, the company went out of business. So I think Bravestarr was a success. It's just the company fell apart.
Yeah, kind of like with Orion Pictures.
Well, at least they didn't abandon a whole lot of projects. I remember Orion went out of business and a bunch of stuff just sat on the catalog for years. I remember seeing a poster for RoboCop 3 like every other month. Like a new one, because we're going to release it now. Oh, wait, no, never mind, forget it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, gosh. So RoboCop 3 was a disaster, though.
Yeah, you know what? That should have sat on the shelf forever. It should have been erased and made a new one. Bummers.
Yeah, I will say Robert John Burke I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, plus RoboCop flies. That's always cool.
Yeah, no, he had a jetpack and that, gun arm.
Yeah.
With a missile launcher in it.
Facing off against the samurai was pretty cool, too.
Yeah, it was, but like I said, it could have been done much better, and it should have been bloodier. Paul Verhoeven should have come back to finish it.
He's too busy making sex movies. So Bravestarr, you know what?
Starship Troopers.
What's that?
Paul Verhoeven did Starship Troopers.
Yeah, but at the time RoboCop 3 was being made, he was knee-deep in Sharon Stone. And then he did Showgirls.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I guess that's
right.
it. Anything you want to say about Bravestarr before we go?
I really hope something like this does come back, like a sci-fi western. I mean, there's definitely potential in that.
If they're not going to do it as a live action movie, do it as an animated movie, or bring it back as a TV show, like on the WB or what's that? What's the other one? What's that
Cartoon
other?
Network.
What's that?
There's Cartoon Network. There's the WB. There's Hub. The Hub.
Hub. That's what I was thinking. The Hub.
Yeah, but like I said, I kind of want something like this to come back.
You know what? Netflix is...
But less racist and less stereotypical.
I just remembered Netflix has a signed deal with DreamWorks because they're doing some cartoons like out of Turbo, and I think they're going to do a Peabody and Sherman. They might actually bring Bravestarr back for Netflix only.
Yay!
We'll see.
Yeah, no, Marvel's kind of doing the same thing with Netflix. They're also bringing Marvel. They're getting their own shows. Daredevil's getting one.
Yep. Hey, did you notice Netflix changed their look from black to red? Or from red to black?
Yep.
So I wonder if they're changing their envelopes so they don't look like they're associated with Redbox.
Probably.
Alright, so stay tuned for that. We'll see if Netflix does anything with Bravestarr or DreamWorks decides to turn it into a movie. That is the end of the episode. I guess this is Michael signing off.
And this is Jacob signing off, fading to black.
Alright, what do you think our next episode should be?
I'm thinking... Oh, what else do we have written down?
We were gonna do what was the cartoon we suggested? I can't remember now. It was a 90s.
Dino Saucers.
Dino Saucers. We have a whole list. You know what?
Pirates of Darkwater.
Pirates of Darkwater. What we're gonna do? You know what we should do? Pick 2 cartoons, put it up on Facebook, and let the people decide what the next episode is. What do you think?
That works. Let's do that.
All right. So pay attention to our Facebook page, Retro Rocket Entertainment. We're gonna put up 2 cartoons. You pick the cartoon. We'll talk about it. All right, good night.
Good.